The 1% code. Master your mind, master your life. Most people accept life exactly as it is handed to them. Waking up, going to work, meeting others' expectations, and collapsing in exhaustion at night. This becomes their normal. But then there are the few, the 1%. These people don't let the world decide what they get. They decide what they want from the world. This is the fundamental difference in mindset. This is the 1% code. 99% of people aren't held back by a lack of talent. They are held back by their programming. The 1% have a mindset wired for growth. They see lessons in every failure and opportunities in every challenge. While the majority complains that life is unfair, these individuals quietly build strategies to bend reality to their will. They understand a cold truth. The world doesn't give sympathy, it only respects results. If you observe closely, you'll notice a strange calmness within the 1%. They aren't reactive, they are responsive. If insulted, they don't react with aggression, but with awareness. They know their energy is priceless and refuse to waste it on trivialities. They understand that every reaction is a decision, and every decision either elevates them or drags them down. The secret of successful people isn't that they are always motivated. The real secret is that they have made discipline their religion. While others work according to their mood, the 1% work according to their systems. Feelings are unreliable, but systems are consistent. This is why their days feel purposeful and predictable, while others are just seeing what happens. The 1% reprogram their minds. They know the subconscious controls 99% of daily decisions, so they feed it intentional positive inputs. The content they consume, the people they surround themselves with, the conversations they have, everything is curated. To them, the mind is a garden. Pulling weeds is just as important as planting seeds. Every day, they ask themselves one question: is this moving me closer to my vision or further away? If the answer is further, they let it go without guilt. They don't need to impress anyone or seek approval. Their compass is internal. This independence is what makes them rare. The 1% mindset is also a spiritual journey. It's where the ego dies and awareness is born. An average mind lives in comparison. Who is ahead? Who is behind? But the 1% mind lives in evolution. How can I be better than I was yesterday? This makes them unstoppable. If you improve by just 1% every day, you become 37 times better in a year. That is the power of the compound effect. Whether it's Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, or an artist who changed the world, they didn't find overnight success. They mastered daily excellence. Greatness is a process, not an event. But this code isn't just for success, it's for peace. When you master your mind, chaos cannot disturb you. You stop seeking validation from others because you have confirmation from yourself. You walk with a silent confidence, a vibe that doesn't need to speak to be felt. The 3 rules of the 1% code. 1. Observe your thoughts. Don't judge your mind, just watch where it runs. Awareness is the first step of transformation. 2. Design your habits consciously. You become what you do repeatedly, not what you think about doing. 3. Make discomfort your friend. Growth always lives outside the comfort zone. You can start this journey today. You don't need a grand plan. Just decide that from this moment on, you will control your mind, direct your energy, and get 1% better every day. This decision will take you to a state where very few arrive, a state where your mind is your servant, not your master. Chapter 2. Inner Reprogramming. The human brain is the most complex machine in existence, yet most people never bother to learn how it works. They live on autopilot, same thoughts, same habits, same reactions. Every experience and emotion leaves an imprint on the subconscious mind, which ultimately runs your life. Inner reprogramming means understanding the old system, breaking it, and replacing it with a new one. Your subconscious is active 24/7, absorbing programs since childhood, from parents, society, and past fears. These programs become beliefs, and beliefs dictate behavior. When someone says, "I can't change," they are really saying, "My subconscious programs are too strong." The 1% know that to change your life, you must reach the hidden part of the mind that defines your identity. It starts with awareness, identifying limiting beliefs like, I'm not smart enough, or, oh, I can't make money. These are just old codes installed by others. You can rewrite them. The 3 paths to reprogramming the subconscious. 1. Repetition. What you think or say repeatedly becomes a permanent belief. If you repeat, I am losing, your subconscious makes that your reality. If you repeat, I am capable and I am in control, your brain builds new neural pathways. 2. Emotion. The subconscious speaks the language of feelings, not logic. If you attach guilt to failure, failure becomes your identity. But if you attach growth to failure, I am evolving, it becomes a source of strength. 3. Visualization. When you vividly imagine your goals as reality, your brain activates the same neural patterns as the actual experience. Elite athletes and entrepreneurs win in their minds before they win in the world. Reprogramming also requires a curated environment. If those around you live in fear or mediocrity, your subconscious absorbs that frequency. Every thought is a seed. Consistency is key. Though the mind resists change because it craves the safety of the familiar, it eventually accepts the new pattern. This is a lifelong journey. The 1% reboot their minds every morning through meditation or journaling to ensure old codes don't reactivate. Speak to your mind. Give it commands that evolve you. Chapter 3. Delayed gratification. Our brains are wired to chase instant pleasure. Notifications, likes, and quick praise release dopamine, and we become addicted to that sensation. This is the trap of instant gratification that keeps people mediocre. Real growth and power come from delayed gratification, the ability to resist a current pleasure for a much greater future reward. It is the ultimate form of self-control. The average person wants everything now: money, fame, satisfaction. But the 1% know the real reward is at the end of a journey tested by patience and focus. Delayed gratification is a brain training process. Every time you resist temptation, you strengthen your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making. Disciplined people walk with confidence because they aren't slaves to their impulses. This applies to health, relationships, and learning. When you skip junk food for fitness or silence for peace, you are reprogramming your mind. It's a spiritual lesson. Patience is the truest form of intelligence. Now, Chapter 4, Ruthless Clarity. Clarity is the ultimate power. Most people say they want success but have no specific definition for it. Without a clear direction, effort is wasted. The 1% possess ruthless clarity. They know exactly what they want, why they want it, and what they are willing to sacrifice for it. Clarity comes from honest self-inquiry. You must silence the voice of fear and listen to the voice of purpose. It requires brutal honesty, admitting your laziness or inconsistencies. Only after accepting the truth can transformation begin. Ruthless clarity is cold. It operates on logic and purpose rather than temporary feelings. The enemy of clarity is noise. The 1% rise above the noise by choosing silence and introspection. Sometimes clarity means cutting off people or habits that don't align with your vision. It's a warrior's mindset. No excuses, only execution. When you are clear, you don't need approval. You just walk your path. Chapter 5, Mental Isolation. Every great person eventually detaches from the crowd. This is our mental isolation, a state where the mind is not lonely, but free. While 99% of people waste energy on what others think, the 1% invest that energy inward. In isolation, you move from reacting to reflecting. This is where you see your hidden patterns. Silence is the laboratory where great ideas are born and matured. However, this process is uncomfortable. When you disconnect from the noise, suppressed emotions surface. Most people run back to the crowd. The 1% stay and face their shadows. Mental isolation grants you psychological independence. You stop being a slave to public opinion and start trusting your own thoughts. It isn't an escape, it's an evolution. The crowd doesn't give direction, it only makes you forget who you are. In solitude, you remember that your existence is defined by your vision, not by external validation. Chapter 6, Controlled Chaos. The most successful people realize that you shouldn't run from chaos, you should learn to control it. Controlled chaos is a state where the external world is in shambles, yet there is a deep, unshakable stability within. Most people panic when life gets unpredictable. Failed relationships, financial instability, or setbacks. The 1% see chaos as a playground. It is a test of their mental stillness. The first step is acceptance, understanding that life is not linear. Growth lives in instability. While others seek safety, the 1% thrive in uncertainty because they view chaos as information, not an enemy. When things go wrong, they pause. They observe rather than react. By maintaining a mental distance, watching life like a movie, they remain the architect of their response. This is why a leader stays calm during a market crash. They use routines like meditation and journaling as anchors to keep their mind grounded while the storm rages outside. Chapter 7, Spectator Mastery. A person is not a slave to their life, but a slave to their emotions. If you control your feelings, you can handle almost any situation. Emotional mastery isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about understanding and directing them. Most people make life-altering decisions based on temporary moods. The 1% observe the wave without being swept away by it. When a strong emotion arises, they name it. This activates the logical brain and reduces the intensity of the feeling. They don't ask how they feel right now, they ask what they want to achieve. Anger, if channeled, becomes focus. Fear, if understood, becomes a signal for growth. Emotional mastery leads to emotional freedom, a state where your peace of mind is no longer dependent on the behavior of others. Chapter 8, Attention Economy. In the modern world, the most valuable currency is not money, but attention. Every notification and video is a soldier in a war for your focus. The 1% know that if they don't control their attention, someone else will. Constant distraction makes the mind shallow. It creates a dependency on instant dopamine. The 1% curate their digital environment ruthlessly. They treat their focus as a precious resource, asking, "Is this moving me closer to my vision?" If not, they delete it. They practice deep work, the ability to immerse oneself entirely in a single task. By spending time in silence and limiting their information diet, they reclaim their mind. Your attention is your direction, and your direction is your destiny. Chapter 9, Systems Thinking. Motivation gets you started, but systems keep you going. The 1% don't rely on willpower. They rely on structures. Systems thinking means viewing life as a series of interconnected processes rather than random events. When you optimize the system, your routine, your environment, your habits, the results follow automatically. Systems make discipline effortless because they don't care about your mood. The 1% automate repetitive decisions to save mental energy for what matters. They focus on the process and the compound effect, knowing that a well-designed system makes success inevitable. Chapter 10, Energy Management. Your greatest asset is your energy. The 1% prioritize energy management. Overtime management. They focus on 4 levels. 1. Physical, treating the body as a temple through sleep and nutrition. 2. Mental, simplifying routines to avoid decision fatigue. 3. Emotional, choosing a social circle that charges rather than drains them. 4. Spiritual, staying connected to a vision that provides purpose. They know when to push and when to restore. Without energy, even the best plan fails. Chapter 11, Deep Work. In an age of distraction, the ability to perform. Deep work is a superpower. It is a state of flow where the world disappears and you merge with your task. The 1% prioritize intensity over hours. They eliminate shallow work, like endless emails and scrolling, treating concentration as a muscle that must be trained daily through boredom, tolerance, and isolation. Chapter 12, Stoic Resilience. Life is hard and things rarely go as planned. Stoic resilience is the art of remaining stable regardless of external circumstances. It's the realization that while you cannot control events, you can control your judgment of them. The 1% don't suffer over things they can't change. They practice voluntary discomfort to toughen their minds and see every obstacle as a teacher. They choose growth over victimhood. Chapter 13, Self-Image Upgrade. You can never outperform your self-image. If you see yourself as average, your brain will sabotage your success. The 1% upgrade their internal identity before they upgrade their external life. Through visualization, affirmations, and acting as the person they wish to become, they convince their subconscious of a new reality. They let go of past labels and define themselves by their future potential. Chapter 14, Information Diet. We live in an age of information overload. The 1% protect their minds from junk information. They consume selectively, focusing on depth rather than quantity. They know that implementation is more important than collection. By practicing digital fasting and choosing high-quality sources, they keep their thinking sharp and original. Chapter 15, Wealth Psychology. Money is an energy that follows value. Wealth psychology is about moving from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. The 1% don't chase money, they chase value creation. They view money as a tool for freedom, not just luxury. They practice delayed gratification, investing in assets while others spend on liabilities. Chapter 16, Minimalist Focus. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Minimalist focus means stripping away everything that doesn't add value. It is the art of saying no. By doing fewer things but doing them better, the 1% achieve a level of mastery that busy people can never reach. They choose intentional simplicity. Chapter 17, Social Circle Shift. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The 1% that are careful about their proximity. They distance themselves from those who drain their energy and seek out those who challenge and inspire them. They understand that a change in your social circle is often the first step toward a change in your life. On Chapter 18, Identity Death. To become someone new, you must let your old self die. Identity death is the painful but necessary process of shedding old beliefs, habits, and comforts. The 1% are not attached to who they were. They are willing to go through the fire of transformation to birth a more powerful version of themselves. Chapter 19, Relentless Consistency. Success is the result of small actions repeated daily without fail. Relentless consistency beats talent every time. The 1% work when they don't feel like it. They value the boring daily grind because they know that is where the compound effect works its magic. They don't seek praise, they seek progress. Chapter 20, The Infinite Game. Life is not a race to a finish line, it is an infinite game. The goal isn't just to win, but to keep playing, growing, and evolving. The 1% don't fear failure because the game never ends. They play for purpose, not popularity. They focus on leaving a legacy and becoming a better version of themselves every single day. The journey itself is the reward.